Hello, I'm going to show you how to make a baked potato dessert. This is the perfect dessert for all of your Idaho themed dinner parties, and little kids love this dessert all the time. Let's start with the ingredients. For the potato itself, I buy these square boxes of ice cream, and you'll see why I buy them in the box when I start to demonstrate. Then for the outside of the potato, I use this Nestle's Quick Mix. For the sour cream, we'll use whipped cream. And for the butter, I'll use these little, they're called vanilla chips. I've also found that these little vanilla wafers work really well. Anything that's white and that melts will be a great option for that. And then yellow food coloring. For the chives, and everybody likes chives on their baked potatoes, I use the walnuts that are already chopped up and some green food coloring. And then we put a little extra chocolate on the plate just for fun. To make the potatoes, I'm going to take the ice cream out of this square box. And I've got my cutting board and my really big heavy knife, and I'm going to cut this ice cream block into 8 different pieces. You can see that I'm using these cleaning gloves because once you start to form these potatoes, your hands will freeze. Every potato kind of has its own character, so they don't have to be perfect. Once I have the ice cream formed into the potato shapes, I put them on a plate like this and kind of separate them out, and then I'll put them in the freezer because we have some other work we need to do. Now let's make the butter for our baked potato dessert. What I've done is I've taken these vanilla chips and I've put them into a small bowl, and then I've put them into the microwave for 2 15-second intervals until they're just about halfway melted. And then I take my spatula and I stir them up really well. And then I'll take some yellow food coloring and try to match the color of butter exactly. So I've got that all stirred up and it's just a smooth mixture. Now to make it look like pats of butter, I have a plate here with the wax paper on it, and I'm going to put this mixture onto the plate. I'm going to smooth it out so that it's about the thickness of a pat of butter. And there you can see that's going to become our butter. I'll put that into the refrigerator and let that set. Now for the chives. Every baked potato needs chives. What I do is I start with some chopped walnut pieces and put them in a Ziploc bag. Then I add green food coloring, actually quite a bit of green food coloring because I want every piece to be completely covered. So now I have them all covered with the green food coloring, and I'm going to put them onto a cookie sheet, and I'm going to toast them for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees. While my chives are toasting, I'm going to go back to the butter, and I've taken this butter, which is nicely set out of the refrigerator, and I'm going to kind of try to cut it into butter pats, and I do this again with my knife, and I try to score it. It's not important that they all come out like little perfect square pieces of butter, and I'm just going to cut them into little pat of butter pieces. So now that they're all cut into pieces, I'm going to set them aside for when we actually put together the potato. Now the chives are out of the oven and everything's ready, I'm ready to assemble the baked potato dessert. And the downside of making the baked potato dessert is that all of this has to happen right before you serve it. So the first thing I do is I take my serving plate and I put some chocolate sauce on it because, well, you can't have too much chocolate. And I set that aside. Then I take one of the potatoes that I formed earlier and put into the freezer, and I'm going to cover these potato forms with the chocolate milk mix, give it a nice brown potato skin. roll it around and roll it around. And I set that on the plate and add some sour cream, a few chives, and a pat of butter. And there it is, the Idaho baked potato dessert.